Okay, now we are switching to a completely different direction. We're going to China. We're going to Asia. Now, China is the country that I was born in, and that's where I grew up. And in terms of classical music in China, it's kind of complicated because the classical music in China is actually called Western classical music. And when the Chinese people say classical music, it's the Chinese traditional classical music, which is very different. It has the Chinese pentatonic scale and everything, and the instruments are different. The string instrument, there's a guitar where you hold it like this, and kind of like a guitar. Then there's a string instrument where you play like this. This is your bow. It's called erhu, and you kind of just play these two strings. So they have different tone, different scale, and completely different instruments. But in terms of so-called Western classical music in China, it started with piano transcription of traditional Chinese instrument tune on the Western instrument, so on violin, on piano. So today, I picked two different pieces for you. The first one is a piano transcription, and the second one is an original composition. And the first one is called Liuyang River, and it's a popular folk song, so it's not for instruments, it's for vocalists. It's very, very popular. It's kind of like Twinkle Twinkle. Like everyone, single one in China can sing Liuyang River, can recognize the tune. And the hard thing about doing a piano transcription of that is that the piano cannot talk. So there's no way to tell you what the lyrics are. But luckily, composer Jian Zhongwang did a great job of mimicking the sound of the water on the piano by creating a lot of arpeggios going up and down. So we hear in the music that sometimes the river flows slow, sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's too fast, it hits the rock and makes a big splash. And this song has 3 different verses, and each verse is provided with slightly different accompaniment by composer Jian Zhongwang. And the second piece I picked for you is an original composition by Yiqiang Sun, S-U-N, or Sun or Sun. This is an original composition. So that's when Western classical music in China started to develop. Okay, we don't have to do piano transcription, violin transcription of anything old. We're gonna develop our own music. And this is called a spring dance. And it reflects a traditional Western Chinese folk dance type of pattern. Now, when I say Western, you have to understand that in China, it's very wide, it's kind of like United States. And if I have to compare geographically China and US, most of the people in China live east of Detroit. It's very far east. So that's where most people live. And on the west side is all mountain and a very high mountain and valley and everything. It's hard for the agriculture. So people just traditionally like to settle on the east. So by Western Chinese style, I mean like California West, very west. So this type of dance pattern is even exotic to most Chinese people's ears. It's the ba ba di da ba ba da di da. So it's even exotic to a lot of Chinese folks. And it's called spring dance. It's a celebration because Chinese people just like to celebrate spring. They actually call the New Year the Spring Festival. So they don't call it Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year. They don't say that. They just say, oh, it's Spring Festival. And there's no Winter Festival, no Summer Festival, no Fall Festival. There's only winter, the Spring Festival. So people just love to celebrate spring. So here's a piano transcription called Liuyang River, and then an original composition called Spring Dance. Thank you. you.